Salted eggs are an amazing ingredient used in Vietnamese and several other Asian cuisines. They can be boiled and served with rice congee. The yolk can be added as a filling or topping for steamed buns, mooncakes, or other baked goods. Or they can be used as flavoring in other dishes like our salted egg tofu or salted egg soft shell crab. For this recipe, you'll need duck eggs, salt, whole peppercorns, black cardamom, cinnamon, star anise, vodka or rice alcohol, water, and a large glass jar. We'll start by making the brine. To a pot, add water and bring to a boil. Once the water is boiling, add the salt, reduce heat to medium, and stir until all the salt dissolves. Add in your spices. Star anise and peppercorn are the basic, but I also love adding cinnamon and black cardamom. Reduce heat to low and let simmer for 5 minutes. Now we'll take this off the heat and let it cool until the brine is room temperature. While we're waiting for the brine to cool, we will wash and pat dry the eggs and sanitize the jar. I'm going to be very carefully pouring boiling water into this jar to sanitize it. Here you can see that I'm rotating the jar to get the boiling water to the entire inside surface before pouring it out. Now we'll let this cool down to room temperature along with the brine. Now that our brine has cooled down to room temperature, we'll be adding a bit of vodka. This will help keep things sterile. Once your jar and the eggs are dry, we're ready to assemble. We're going to be adding the eggs gently to the jar. Then we'll pour in the brine. We'll want to make sure that all the eggs are fully submerged so that they absorb the brine evenly. To do that, you can use a pickling weight, a small plate, or a Ziploc bag filled with some brine. The reason why we want to fill the bag with the brining solution itself and not water is so that if the bag leaks, it won't dilute the brine. Zip this up and place on top. Now we'll close this up and store in a place with bright but indirect sunlight for at least 4 weeks. If you've never made your own salted egg, I recommend boiling and testing one after 4 weeks to decide if it's salty enough. My preference is after 5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks and the eggs are ready. To prevent them from getting saltier, we will remove them from the brine, rinse, dry, and store them in the fridge. They can be stored like this in the fridge for a month, or you can hard boil and store them in the freezer for several months. Let's try some.
Look at that color.
The most classic way to use salted eggs is to hard boil and eat with rice congee. So good. You can really taste the spices that we use in the brine. They all come through beautifully. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Vietnamese and French recipes.